Hi everyone, welcome to the lesson on document settings, or documentation settings rather. In this lesson we're just going to have a quick look at what the documentation settings actually are. It's a little bit misleading. It almost makes it sound like you can write your own documentation in here, but that's not actually the case. What you can do is you can create a nice cover image and a frame around your documentation to give it a more corporate or business-like feel. So if we come into the document information and have a look at this one that I've created here called My Document, it's the normal general stuff such as name, document title, who created it, when it was created, and some additional user-defined stuff. What you need to do is create the frame that you want to use with this type of document and the cover page that you want to use with this type of document. So I've gone ahead and created a frame and a cover page, and if we open my frame, you'll see that there is a light grey area in which TIA Portal will populate the relevant information, the documentation information that you choose to print. And all I've done is stuck a logo in the top corner with a little bit of text. So if we have a look at the toolbox, what you're able to do here, so you're able to add an image, which you can see I've done, free text, you can do page numbers, the current date and time, and also you can put in a text field. So it's just drag and drop, you drop the text field in, right click is the very basic minimum tools. If you come down to properties, you can select what this text box will be from your My Document information section. So this section here, what we set up in My Document. Yeah, you can put those on your cover, on your frame around your printed data. So for example, if I said approved by, that information would contain the approved by field from my documents here. So approved by, and it would say Liam. So if we go back to my frame, I'll just delete that, and basically this grey area here is going to be the stuff that we select for printing. Now you also have a cover page, which I just have set up as my logo. And if we come up to my project and I click print, you get the selection on what you want to print, how you're going to print. You can see a variety of different options for printing, one of which is my document in my project. So you can see that it's going to print with my frame, it's going to use the cover page, my cover page, and it's coming from my project as opposed to the Siemens library. So I'll go ahead and use that. I've told it to print the cover page, I want it to print the table of contents, and just to save a bit of time, we'll do the compact view, otherwise it's going to print like hundreds of pages. So I'm going to click preview. So right now it's rendering these pages with the frame that we've designed around the documentation. So that's gone ahead and finished printing the document. If I now go down and have a look, well, first off you can see the cover image here, which is as I designed, and then as I come down the list, down the pages, you can see that I have my logo in the top left and my Alveare Learning example of a frame layout. And in the grey area I defined, TIA Portal has now gone and populated the information. Essentially what it's doing is printing everything in this project. So my table of contents is everything. So what we get here is the environment that the TIA Portal instance is in. So operating system, computer name, all that sort of stuff. And then all of the components that are installed with their version numbers, the release numbers, all of that sort of stuff. It's essentially everything that you would need to give this system over to somebody else, or to have a reference of the environment this was built in. And we haven't added anything into this. TIA Portal does this by itself. It's not really great. if you have a huge project. If I was to print a project that's a proper project with hundreds of blocks in, it would try to print the ladder logic or the logic for all of those blocks as well. It's an awful lot of documentation that is somewhat unnecessary. There are options and stuff to try and reduce that stuff down, but what we're showing here is that you can create your own custom frames around information to make it feel more like you guys have produced this, as opposed to Tier Portal just producing it itself. And that's really it for the documentation settings. Like I said, there's not a lot to get excited about. You can't really do a lot in here. Documentation about the project is probably done best outside of the project. I mean, you can see an awful lot here. It's just blank pages. So yeah, it's probably best to do this stuff yourself.